Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports for the final video of the day. It's been a very long day, lots of rugby, lots of coverage, and lots of stuff to talk about. But today is the final sort of the closing, sort of the wrap up of the day. We're going to be doing the player rating show between the Stormers and the British and Irish Lions. Basically, over the next half an hour to 45 minutes, we're going to be going through both lineups, 1 through to 23, and giving them all a rating between 1 and 10. And I think it should be quite interesting to sort of see what we say about some of the Stormers players. I thought that for about 25 minutes, the Stormers were in the game, and they seemed to be doing an all right job of just sort of sticking in there. And then they just got completely blown away in sort of the last sort of 15 minutes, really. But the link is in the description, so please let's go and get voting right now over there. The pinned comment over there is the link to go and vote. So go and start get voting. Go and cast your vote, decide, what to give these players between 1 and 10, and then we're going to go through it and sort of discuss it exactly, which players were impressed, which players didn't, what we thought of in each individual player and stuff like that. We'll also vote for a man of the match, so I'm actually going to put that poll out now. So if anybody's got any suggestions for man of the match, chuck them in the comments right now. At this stage, I'm probably going to go with Marcus Harris, Luke Cowan-Dickey. Is there anybody that's coming in with a third nomination, or are we happy with those two for now? I'll give you a couple of moments here. If anybody wants to make a suggestion on man of the match, now is the time to talk. So speak now or forever hold your peace. Otherwise, I'm just going to go with those. Not Marcus Harris, but I think Marcus Smith. Is he writing the wrong things here? So we're all happy with those two as our man of the match candidates. It seems to be like that. Nobody's really sort of chatting much in the sort of the comments and stuff like that. So we'll kind of go with that. So I'm going to put that poll up now, and then we can sort of vote for it. So there is the poll for your man of the match. Go get voting. Go and decide what you think of those candidates and who you sort of back between them. I thought they both had very, very good games. I thought that's probably the best I've seen Luke Cowan-Dickey play in a Lion shirt. I think today, I think choosing your hooker is going to be a difficult one. I think that's going to be quite a bit of a selection headache there for Gatlin. I mean, I think that there's been some very good individual performances. Ken Owens is a very solid pick. Jamie George is a very solid pick. But Luke Cowan-Dickey was tremendous today. I think it was 3 turnovers he made, a lot of tackles, a couple of meters around. He scored a try. He was very, very good today. And Marcus Smith, well, he might have been on debut, but he looked like he just looked like he belonged, didn't he? Good front forward ball off the back of a very dominant pack, and he really, really did make the Stormers pay on a number of occasions, stuff like that. So yeah, just go get voting. Make sure you go and cast your vote, stuff like that. We're going to be starting with the Stormers players. I know on the actual article itself, it does start with the Lions players. We're going to start with the Stormers players, and then we'll move on to the Lions stuff again, sort of talk it out and sort of see where we reckon everybody's at in terms of the Lions squad, and maybe sort of mention a couple of players who could be potentially starting. It's not going to be a very long show. It's been a very long day, so we want to try and get through the ratings reasonably quickly, and sort of wrap up as things. And then the main thing is in a week's time, you're going to be doing the same thing, but for the first test, which is going to be really, really exciting. So all roads now lead back to Cape Town for the first test next week. I mean, 49 points to 3 today was a bit of a decimation, wasn't it? And I think the Stormers, as I said, I think they were decent for about 25 minutes, and then they couldn't compete. You can't compete at this level. And we've seen every single provincial side just sort of swept to the sides before the SAA on Wednesday did do a very good job of beating the British and Irish Lions. But yeah, let's sort of get stuck into some of the ratings, shall we? And we're going to start, as I said, we're going to start with the Stormers. And Leon Lions made 3 carries, 8 tackles, only missed 1 tackle. 4 meters gain. I thought the scrums were all right. They were under quite a lot of pressure. I'd probably give Leon Lions a 6. I think that, in that Stormers pack, I didn't think he was too bad. I thought that Neil Bashir was actually, I'd probably actually lean towards maybe a 5 for Leon Lions. So interesting to see what you guys have to say about it. And if my internet ever cooperates, then... So you guys are going with 6. I went a little bit low. Yeah, maybe I could have gone with a 6 for Leon Lions. But 3 carries, 8 tackles made is pretty solid. I thought they fronched up reasonably well. Did the Stormers, especially in the early stages. JJ Kotze made 5 tackles. He missed 2 though. Made 3 carries, 1 turnover, 1. I also wanted to bring up the rugby pass stats, so that's also got lineouts and all that sort of stuff as well. So yeah, let me know what you thought about JJ Kotzer today. I thought that under Hugo Fent is gonna. I'm interested to sort of see if when he starts getting more game time, how he'll go. And I think he'll try and sort of push to be a bit more involved. Will the son of Andre Fenter. Very, very exciting ball carriers is Andre Hugo Fenter. Very physical player, really relish the physical battle. But yeah, this has JJ Kotzer making 2 carries and making 5 tackles. Rugby Pass doesn't reckon he missed one. In terms of discipline, he conceded 1 penalty. Doesn't really give us set plays or anything like that. So I'll probably give a 5 for JJ Kotzer. I think he was maybe a 6. I think he was average. I think it's probably fair. So I'll probably flit around the sort of 6 for him. And I probably actually would have gone 5. Yeah, I'm actually going to go 5. I'm retaking that. Netley for sure, I thought was somebody who actually stood up today. I thought that he looked like he was on a bit of a mission to try and prove a point. He missed a couple of tackles, that Netley for sure. He also made a couple of really, really big hits. I thought it's the best I've seen him play in a while. He made 9 carries, he made 6 tackles, 2 turnovers, 1 as well, 2 passes. Can see 2 penalties at scrum time, which is not great. But I thought that he brought quite a lot of he brought a decent amount of physicality to Bashir. So I'll probably give him a 6. Thought he was probably better than the other 2. 5.5. So we're there and thereabout. Ernst van Rijn and JD Schickling. Well, I thought Ernst van Rijn had quite a quiet game. Did the captain, butchered a try. Well, not butchered, but he dropped the ball towards. But he sort of quietly got a lot of work done. I mean, I think he made some of the most tackles out of all the Stormers players. So he wasn't particularly flash. Was Ernst van Rijn. According to Rugby Pass, he made 9 tackles and missed 1. On the attack, apparently he made 3 carries. Ultimate Rugby's got him making 3 carries as well. 3 missed tackles there apparently on Ultimate Rugby, whilst Rugby Pass says he missed 1. So I mean, a solid effort, but a very quiet effort. But I suppose that's a lock for you. So I'll probably give a 6 for Ernst van Rijn. Just did his business quietly. Yeah, you guys are all agreeing on a 6, so we can go with that. JD Schickling I thought was probably better, although he faded a little bit. He started off quite well to JD Schickling, but I thought he sort of faded a bit towards the end of the game. He made 7 carries and 8 tackles according to Ultimate Rugby, but made 3 missed 3 tackles. According to Rugby Pass, he made 6 tackles, didn't miss tackle, and 1 a turnover. And on the attack, he gained 10 meters across 5 carries. At set plays, he won 9 lineouts and also won a lineout steal. So a pretty solid day in the office for JD Schickling, which I don't think that too many. I mean, when you lose 49 points to 3, I mean, can you be sort of giving more than sort of 6 and 7s to players? So I'll probably give him a 6. I think most sort of maybe a 7. Yeah, I'll go with JD Schickling with a 7 because I think that he was probably the best player in the pack. To be fair, I thought Evan Lewis tried pretty hard. Nama Club, I was quite disappointed with. He hasn't played a lot of rugby, and it kind of showed. He struggled to get in the game, did Nama Club. He had a couple of chances, but I mean, he won 1 turnover. He made 7 tackles. Apparently carried the ball up 8 times. I just think he kind of struggled to get over the advantage line, Club. But I mean, he was pretty solid on the defense. So I'll probably go with a 6 from him. I was hoping to see a bit more from him. I think he's a very, very talented player. So I think 6 is about fair because I think we could have seen. I think we probably want to see even more from him today than we did. Johan de Toy I thought was pretty average to be perfectly honest. Committed a stupid penalty which thankfully they got away with. But he made 13 tackles according to Ultimate Rugby, 6 carries. Rugby Pass has him at making 11 tackles, 0 missed, 1 turnover, 1. And on the attack, across 6 carries, I'll probably give him another 6. He had good moments. He tackles well. There's the Toy. He's a very good defender. But he kind of struggles to assert his authority on the game like his brother does. And it's a bit difficult to compare him to the former World Player of the Year. Evan Lewis, I thought, tried really, really hard. I thought that he looked like he really tried to get over the advantage line. Maybe not to great effect. But he made 30 meters. He beat 1 defender. Rugby Pass has him making 7 carries, the second most out of the pack. On defense, he made 8 tackles, didn't miss 1 turnover, 1 as well. But he tried really hard to Evan Lewis. Probably didn't get best quality of ball. It was a willing ball carrier, but I think it was only once or twice where he really sort of managed to get the ball with a bit of yards to sort of build a bit of pace, stuff like that. So probably another 6. I mean, the pack generally got sort of bullied today. for a large part of the game. 6.5. Yeah, I thought he was decent. Was Evan Lewis. Couldn't exact his authority on the game as much as he would have liked. I didn't think Godwin Masimba was bad at all. By the way, I thought Godwin Masimba was pretty good today. He made apparently missed 3 tackles, made 1. He kind of made a lot of half tackles. Where he sort of stopped somebody in his track, but they still kind of ran over him. Made 63 passes. Tried quite hard. His kicking wasn't terrible. I've seen worse performances from him. I mean, Paul de Vet was probably missed today, just in terms of having somebody with a bit more experience. Or somebody that, for example, like John Dobson. I mean, not really experienced. I think Godwin Masimba was older. But John Dobson really rates Paul de Vet as a scrum half, which is interesting because from what I've seen from Paul de Vet, I've seen some good things from him and I've seen some bad things from him. Tim Sweel, he kind of just sort of wasted some of his opportunity. I thought that they shouldn't have taken the 3 points when they did, but I didn't think he should have gone off. I thought he had some good moments in the game, and I mean, I'd probably get another 6 from him. I don't think Adnan van Rijn was a lot better. In fact, I think Tim Sweel was alright, was pretty solid, nothing special. Edwin van der Merwe tried pretty hard whenever he got the ball. He was pretty ineffective though, wasn't he? I mean, he missed more tackles than he made. He made 7 meters, 3 defenders beaten. Rugby Pass has him making 50 meters across 7 carries, beating 2 defenders, 1 clean break. For him on defense, not a particularly good defensive effort from him today. I think most of them are just going to sort of get 6s really. I mean, he didn't really influence the game much at Edwin van der Merwe, and he was one of the people I think people were quite excited to try and sort of see. But he tried hard. Dan du Plessis, it was an interesting one from Dan du Plessis. Sometimes it almost looked like he was trying too hard. He made. According to Rugby Pass, Dan du Plessis made 5 tackles and missed 2. And on the attack, he made 5 carries, making 13 meters, not meeting any defenders, no line breaks. I thought he tried hard, but a couple of poor moments for him defensively. I think, and positionally, I didn't think he was great. 5 maybe is a bit harsh. Probably should have gone with a 6. Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna change that to a 6. Although we are being quite generous for a side which lost by 46 points. So people are going with a 7. I think it's probably a little bit hard for Dan du Plessis. I thought he tried hard, but I think he struggled at times. Jean de Jong looked like somebody who wanted to really get into the game, but just they didn't bring him into the game at all. He made 4 tackles and apparently missed 4 over here. He's got 1 offload here, 2 defenders beaten, 12 meters gain. For Rugby Pass, they reckon that Jean de Jong made no meters across 1 carry. Defensively, they've got him making 3 tackles and missing 3 tackles. So, I mean, he was enthusiastic, and you could see he was trying to sort of add a bit of impetus, but to very, very limited effect. So I'll probably give him a 5. Mostly because I think that, with his ability and his experience, I think they were an 8. People are going high for John de Jong. Maybe I'll probably go with a 6 to be a bit fair, but I didn't think he was that great. I thought that I thought he was ineffective. He might have looked good, maybe with a couple of decent carries. I don't know what people saw about John de Jong that was sort of closer to 10 out of 10. He missed a lot of tackles to John de Jong. He missed as many as he made. So I think that you can't really sort of excuse, especially as an outside centre. That is your sort of your big job, and somebody who's got his sort of experience, stuff like that, he's got to do better than that. So Nuttall actually didn't play. This was supposed to be Leon and Zas, but unfortunately because of the changes and the lineup and stuff like that, we were a little bit late with changing things. Virgil Peterson I thought was very good. I thought he was the best Stormers player by a country mile. I mean, Rugby Pass has him making 75 meters. Ultimate Rugby's going to make him 107. He carried the ball 12 times. He beat 6 defenders, 4 offloads, 8 passes. Defense-wise, he made 2 tackles. So he made 4 tackles and missed 1. I thought he was very good. I thought that he was the best player in the park for the Stormers. I thought, and I was quite critical of him before that. I said, he's a player who doesn't often play at fullback. So it can go sort of anywhere of 2 ways. He's either going to really pitch up or he could struggle. And I thought he really did pitch up. So I'm actually going to give him an 8. I thought he was really, really, really impressive. People are, I don't know who's going with a 10 out of 10. I mean, do people not watch this game? Nobody is, because if I'm giving him an 8, that means lots of people are giving him towards 10. I mean, come now, people. They lost by 46 points. 46 points. No one's getting that high. I think, even an 8 maybe could be a bit, but I thought that he was a very good player. But come now, let's not take the piss here. And then the bench. It's not ordered as the bench because we were busy throwing it together as we were on the fly. But I mean, it's difficult to rate players. I mean, Hugo Fenton had half an hour. He made 2 tackles. He missed 2 tackles. He carried the ball up once, making no meters. Couple of tackles. I'd say a bang average 5 from Hugo Fenton. He was on long enough to be able to try and make an impact. I mean, 32 minutes is a decent. 7.5. I thought he looked. I mean, he had a lot of carries, and it looked like he was trying to get involved, but he wasn't effective at all. I don't know who's voting here. I mean, did the Stormers win or something? Did I miss something? 7.5, 9, 8, 7, 6.5. I mean, these guys got punished here. Let's not be stupid here. Come now. People are just messing up my ratings here. Next over here is Justin Massard, who was the reserve lock. I mean, he got 15 minutes, so I'll give you a 6. When you get 15 minutes, you don't really get much time to sort of to make much of a difference. Marcel Tennyson came on, also didn't get a lot of minutes, 19 minutes, made 3 tackles. I don't think he missed a tackle. So we'll probably give him a solid 6 as well. This will ever load. Come now. I'm gonna have to refresh the page here. Oh, what a ball. Oh, this is going terribly. Let me know if in the chat what you think. I think some of these ratings are very, very high, considering, as I said, considering the scoreline we saw. So I'll give Marcel Tennyson a 6. Unfortunately, now I've lost what all the other players did. Why is this not working? 3.5. That's harsh. I mean, he was on for 19 minutes. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't great, but I mean, how do you give him a 3.5 when people are giving, Dan Duplessis 8s and 9s? It's a very, very strange. This is the strangest rating I've ever had. Thomas Bursey, it's not Thomas Bursey, so we'll amend the image at a later stage. I don't think we had an image for him, which is the problem. He had a decent moment, but that was pretty much it. Missed a couple of tackles, so yeah, I'll probably go a 6, and then we'll go to. Come on, man. Yeah, I mean, as I said, to give Sergio Peterson 10 out of 10, and then to give Marcel Tennyson and Thomas Bursey, who were on for about 15 minutes, like 1s and 2s, this is just a little bit of a piss take, to be honest. Abner van Reenen, I'll give a 5, maybe even a 4. Actually, I thought he butchered their best chance of scoring. So I'll probably go with a 4 for Abner van Reenen. He's a frustrating player to watch. He's got some good moments in him. 2.5. Wow. It wasn't that bad. Lee Marvin Mazubuka, I mean, he hardly had minutes, didn't he? What did he play? 14 minutes, 2 tackles, missed 1. Rugby pass here says made 3 tackles, didn't miss any. And on the attack, 1 carry from him. So we'll give him a 6. This wasn't supposed to be Neil Otto because he wasn't playing, so we'll skip him. Leon Zas did start. Threw was pretty poor. Leon Zas didn't do much. Missed a couple of tackles as well. Didn't have a lot of ball, to be honest, to give him his juice. 3. I mean, the difference in these ratings is bizarre. Cornell Smith, he had 1 nice carry. He missed just 1 tackle. Made 50 meters. We'll just give you a 6. John Rennell says all 12 people here are Stormers fans. Well, I don't know, to be honest, because I think that, I mean, if you're not getting a 10, you're getting a freaking 3.5, I think. I suppose the bench came on and got pummeled. But it's not like, I mean, it's difficult when you're coming onto a game and you're on the back foot already, and now you must try and compete. So we'll go up to the Lions now and just quickly go through this. And we'll start with Rory Sutherland. He's quite mobile around the pitch here, is old Rory. He made 4 carries, 7 tackles. He made 6 meters across his 5 carries, apparently now according to Rugby Pass. Didn't miss a single tackle though. Scrum was pretty solid, so I'll probably give him a 7. I thought he was pretty good. I thought Xander Ferguson still continues to struggle when he comes on. 6.8, that's fair enough. Luke and Dickey's got to be a 8 or 9. I'll probably give him a 9. If I'm giving Sergio Peterson an edge, I mean, it wasn't a 10 out of 10 from him, but he was very good. I mean, what more could you ask from him? I mean, I'm sorry. How are you giving? So if I had gone like 7 or what, how are people giving Dan du Plessis a higher rating than Luke Cowan-Dickie, who won the freaking man of the match? Let's not stop taking the piss on my voting here, people. You're just ruining everything. Tadek Furlong. I mean, let me read you Cowan-Dickie's stats here. Just to, and this is bearing in mind he only played 49 minutes. He made 8 carries, 8 tackles, only missed 1 tackle. He won 3 turnovers on the ground, beat 4 defenders, 1 clean break, and he scored a try. And you're gonna give him like, well, I'm giving him a 9, and that's pulling people up. So people are giving him less than a 7, down the 6s and the 5s. Like, come on, let's not be silly here. Taylor Furlong, well, man was playing like a little bit of an inside centre. Had some great carries there. He had 7 tackles, 5 carries, 26 meters made, 1 offload, 1 clean break. Solid outing for him. He has to be the tight head. I don't think we have anybody that's going to get below 7, really. 6.3. I can't believe some of the ratings of the Stormers players. And then you have Taylor Furlong at 6.3. Oh, my goodness. Every Lions player did really good except Josh Adams. You know, that's the thing. I mean, you can't look at any of these Lions players and think that they had bad games, and yet I'm looking at a 6.3 for Tadek Furlong, who made 5 tackles according to Rugby Pass, missed 1, made 70 meters across 6 carries, 1 clean break, 2 passes, didn't concede a single penalty, scrummed very, very well. And now 6.3. Come now, people. Come now. Adam Beard, well, he scored a try. He helped set up another try. He was very, very good at the lineouts. 3 carries, 6 tackles, missed 1 tackle. Rugby Pass has him making 9 meters across, 1 ball carry, 3 ball carry, 1 clean break. He scored a try. On defense, they've got him making 4 tackles, 1 turnover. I'll probably give Adam Beard an 8. I thought he was very, very good today. Watch, it'll probably say like 5.3 or something stupid. 6.7. I give up. I give up on people. Yeah. Johnny Hill, I thought probably wasn't as good as Adam Beard. I thought he was pretty. He made a lot of tackles though, to be fair to Johnny Hill. So maybe I should give him maybe an 8. I don't know. He missed 3 tackles to Johnny Hill. But he made so according to Ray Pass, he won 2 turnovers, made 10 tackles, missed 2 tackles. And on the attack, he scored a try, made 10 meters across 5 carries, 1 clean break. I'll give him. I was just more impressed with Adam Beard. I thought was very good at lineup as well. So I'll give Johnny Hill a 7. I think a 6 is ludicrous. People, I mean, I'm not going to do these ratings if people are just going to be stupid. Lions didn't do anything wrong except for the first 30 minutes. These British Irish Lions are ridiculous. Grant Swartz, I don't know what's happening. We're falling apart here. We might just have to cancel this bloody show. I mean, we had 4 like Stormers players, and I don't think any apart from a couple of players off the bench. None of the starting lineup for the Stormers got less than I think like a 6. And now we've got players like Johnny Hill getting a 6, Adam Beard getting a 6.7, Tadek Furlong getting a 6.3. This is ludicrous. Tadek Byrne should have had a try. Had a couple of blindside breaks to Tadek Byrne. 11 carries, 7 tackles. I mean, 39 meters, 4 offloads, 1 clean break. Rugby Pass has him making 50 meters across 8 carries. Didn't get a try. Try was chalked off. But, yeah, I mean, brilliant performance. I thought he was very good. I didn't do anything wrong at all. So I'll probably go with an 8 from him. He looked really good. 7.3. It's getting better. Hamish Watson, 12 tackles. Not a single one missed. On the attack, he made 60 meters across 6 carries. I'll probably also get him an 8. Him and Tadek Byrne, I reckon, probably sort of cemented their starting lineup. I'm not sure if Jack Conan will make it to that starting run. I reckon he probably will. Jack Conan made 6 carries, 8 tackles, 46 meters gain, beat 4 defenders and 2 clean breaks, 2 offloads. The loose trio was just very good. They were just very good. I think I would not have any, if I was a Lions fan, I wouldn't have any arguments if this was my loose trio next weekend. I thought Tadek Byrne was brilliant in the Six Nations. He was Six Nations player of the tournament. Jack Conan's looking really good, and if you've got Josh Navidi coming off the bench, what more could you want out of life, really? Adam Beard was excellent, agreed. Josh Adams was quiet. Yeah, I thought Josh Adams struggled a little bit today. He didn't score a try, so I mean, come now, really. He scored 8 or 9 tries already. He doesn't score a try today. Ali Price. Ali Price had an interesting game. Probably not one of his best games. I wouldn't have said that he sort of got himself into test contention based on today. He did get a try assist. He beat one defender, 3 offloads, 42 meters gain. I'm probably sort of hitting it around a 7 for Ali Price. 44 passes, 3 offloads. Defensively, he made his tackles when he needed to. So I'll give a solid 7 to Ali Price. I think he's. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him on the bench, for example, next weekend. I reckon they'll probably go with Conor Murray. But I think Ali Price is actually, I think on form, he's probably the most in form. I think that Conor Murray's safer because of his tactical awareness. I think Gareth Davies hasn't had a lot of chance to really sort of play and really get himself into the mix. But I've been very impressed with Ali Price. I think he's been a bit of a surprise of the season so far. And then this kid, Marcus Smith, has been, wow. I was saying on Twitter, I'm just glad he didn't come through the South African system because we probably would have told him he was too small and couldn't play rugby. But my goodness, did he look good today? It always helps when you're playing behind a very dominant pack. But he made 10 tackles, missed 2. I don't actually remember the ones he missed. But he made 10 tackles. They targeted him and he fronted up when he needed to. On the attack, he made 12 meters. I wish they had like chances created, like they do in football. It'd be really cool. That would be a really, really cool stat. He kicked beautifully. It was very, very good. Was Marcus Smith? Got himself a try assist, 7 conversions. Yeah, a dream performance. If it was against the Springboks, it would have been a 10 out of 10. But I'm going to give him a 9. You don't get 10 out of 10s for doing well. Yeah, I think that's. Hey, we got one. Well done, people. It's been a tough ride, but we finally got one right. I think this is yeah. Duhan van der Merwe, well, stats-wise, he reads really well. And I think he could be knocking on the door for a spot in that test. He beat 9 defenders, 2 offloads, 1 pass, 1 clean break, 138 meters. He is a little bit... he's a little bit of a stat pattern in the way he plays because he kind of sort of skips away from people. So he doesn't necessarily will beat them one-on-one, go straight past them. He kind of sort of will step away from them and keep going. But he's very effective. He creates space and even when he's isolated, he's very good at getting himself back towards support. So I thought it was pretty good today. I'll give him an 8. I think him and Josh Adams are probably. Maybe I don't know if you're gonna go with Anthony Watson or if you got Josh Adams at back. 8.3 is pretty fair. I think Liam Williams is phenomenal under the high ball. You got Stuart Hogg, who I thought looked so composed today. Robbie Henshaw was probably the worst Lions player, ironically, but he just didn't. He looked like a player who hadn't played at all this tour, which he hasn't. 1 clean break. He made 11 tackles, so he was pretty good in the defense. 3 passes, 26 meters gain, 1 clean break. I'll give him a 7. I don't think any Lions player. Maybe Josh Adams will probably get a 6. But I don't think any Lions player played badly today. Not worthy of a 6. And so 7's a decent for Robbie Henshaw. Wasn't as attacking best, but was very solid in the defense. I thought Elliot Daly was pretty quiet. I kind of expect to see a lot more of him today. He made 4 tackles, 1 turnover, 1. On the attack, he didn't do much on the attack, to be honest. Maybe Elliot Daly might actually also get a 6. He missed more tackles than he gained. Yeah, 1 try assist, 1 offload. Yeah, I'll probably give Elliot Daly a 6. I thought he kicked all right. He had a very, very quiet game. 6.8, so I've gone a little bit lower there. Is Marcus Smith South African? No, Marcus Smith was born in Philippines and then went to school in the UK. Fun fact of the night. I don't think Duhan van der Merwe will make the test squad. I did not make the same impact as in previous games. I think that at the moment it's probably going to be Josh Adams and Anthony Watson with Stuart Hogg at fullback. But I'll tell you what, they could do a lot worse than having Duhan there. I think he's been quite. Look, it wasn't quite the game he had a couple of weeks ago, but he just seems to sort of manage to get away from people. So I'm very interested to see what they go. Like, I think in terms of the grunt he brings, he's a very useful player, but so does Anthony Watson. So you could go Duhan van der Merwe and Anthony Watson. It would be almost bizarre not to pick Josh Adams. But if he just wants to have those really, really big physical wings, you could go that route as well. I wouldn't, but you could. Speaking of Josh Adams, 2 tackles missed, 2 tackles made, 2 turnovers conceded. Knocked the ball on 50. I thought he was probably the worst Lions player today, so I'll give him a 6. Didn't have a great game. the way the voting's going, you might have a 10 out of 10. He might be a 7.5. I didn't think Josh Adams was good today. I don't know what other people watched. I mean, to put him better than Robbie Henshaw, to have him better than Ali Price, to have him like 2 scores better than Tadek Furlong, I just say I'm not sure we're watching the same match here, people. Stuart Hogg, it's just the composure, isn't it? Just so composed. He only had to make 1 tackle today, but I mean, how many times were they under pressure and he sort of just gets them out of it? He's so calm and collected. 3 defenders beaten, 2 try assists from him, 81 meters gained. It's got to be an 8. Got to be an 8 for the captain. I thought he looked really, really. He's so unflattered, and I can't wait to see him play next week. Just because he's he's never got a test cap for the Lions. He's played 9 games for the Lions and he's never had a test cap. I mean, come now, he's so overdue, and also had a horrible tour where he was isolating, so he couldn't be part of the touring squad. He's probably one of the most important players before the tour. Jamie George, I thought was pretty quiet off the bench. Didn't see him too much. Just 3 tackles and 3 carries and 4 tackles. I'll probably give him a 6. Nothing wrong, but nothing spectacular. Just sort of solid and a bit nebulous at times, I suppose, maybe. 6.8. I mean, to say that he was better than Tadek Furlong, for example, is just wrong. Marco Vinapola made some tackles. He made 18 meters. He had 1 decent break. I remember there was 1 clean break, 1 defender beaten. 4 carries, 7 tackles. 7 tackles is pretty decent, especially when you consider he didn't play a full game. So I'll probably give Marco a 7. I reckon he probably starts next weekend, to be honest. I think that him and Tadek Furlong would probably be my starting props, with probably Luca and Dickey after the day in the middle. But really, you can't go wrong with those hookers. Stuart Hogg proved he should be starting fullback for the Lions. 100% agree. We trying to watch the game and then bubble us when we did the rating. Who knows? I'm very confused with what's going on. The sad thing is, I think, and Grant Swartz, you've been on here for quite a few of the ratings. We've never been particularly far away. It's always been quite measured. I don't think, usually in sort of 1 to 23, maybe 2 that we don't usually agree with, in terms of where I am, in terms of what everybody's voting and stuff like that, and what the comments are saying. But this has been bizarre, just completely bizarre. Maybe it's the competitors. Maybe it's somebody who hates me. Maybe it's those Bulls fans that are pissed off and they're just coming here to ruin my ratings. Could be. All because I said that we need to stop getting too excited about Johan Gerson. Xander Ferguson. Well, I don't think you're going to find yourself in the test squad next week, mate. 3 carries, 4 tackles. He scored a try. But I wasn't impressed when he came on the other day. I wasn't impressed when he came on tonight. I'll probably give him a 6, I think, for his try. But just load so I can change him and give him his due. Although having said that, people are going at 5.3. Yeah, I don't think Xander Ferguson is anywhere near that test squad. I think that you surely go Furlong and Sinclair off the bench, and you go Vinapola and Sutherland off the bench. Alan Wynne-Jones, I tell you what, he looked sharp. Couple of offloads from him. I mean, what are the official stats? 4 carries, 7 tackles, 3 offloads. Didn't miss a single tackle. He made 7 tackles despite playing 27 minutes. So I think it was a solid outing for him. Look, did he look off the pace? No. Should he be in the test team? I don't know. I think it's going to be quite an interesting call, because I think that, they probably would have been going. They'll go Mario Toje and Ian Henderson. I think you've got to go those 2 for starting. I think Johnny Hill hasn't done enough to get into that test squad. I don't think he'll be in around there. They could go Courtney Laws as off the bench, but I think it's between Adam Wynne-Jones and Adam Beard, actually, for who will be on the bench next weekend, unless they back Adam Wynne-Jones to start. But Adam Beard has really, really been putting his hand up. I've been very, very impressed with him. But then obviously it's the experience of Adam Wynne-Jones. He's been in these situations. It's his fourth tour, So I mean, I wouldn't say it was an amazing game off Alan Wynne-Jones, but he just looked. I mean, his offloads were pretty good. He made his tackles. He just looked like for somebody who hasn't played a game of rugby in 3 weeks, who's been injured, been doing rehab and stuff like that. He slotted in and didn't look any worse than anybody else. So I thought he was pretty solid. Very interested to sort of see what they go into next week. Sean and Alvec to Stormers fans, but as Grant says, he's a Stormers fan. His ratings are just insane. FNTSG says you can't read much into the SAS squad. It doesn't matter in the context of the tour. Agreed. He's also a Stormers fan. Xander Ferguson, the Cuneo station of the Alliance teams. Jordan Nelson says he got smashed in the tackle. Not sure if you're referring to Alan Wynne or Xander Ferguson, but yeah, look, two loose heads that didn't cover themselves in glory. I suppose Xander Ferguson's a tight head, but two props that didn't cover themselves in glory today. I mean, game, yeah, with you, don't stress. Next up, we have got Sam Simmons. Sam Simmons looks very impressive when he comes on. Like, you know, he looks like he's going to make a break. He almost makes that break. He makes those carries and looks like he's very exciting. And look, today, I think was probably a very decent cameo. I'm sure we'll see him on the bench next week. I think he's got bomb squad type player written all over him. If they go with a 6-2 split next week, I would probably go Allen Jones, Josh Navidi, and Courtney Laws. Or, I mean, we can go Courtney Laws. I don't know. I suppose you have to go Sam Simmons, but I'd really, really like to see Josh Navidi off the bench next weekend. I think he offers a bit of sort of explosiveness and some really, really good grunt there. Obviously, Tad Burns is a fantastic player, but it's difficult to leave. You know, I think they'll want to include Allen Jones. So I don't know how they sort of necessitate that, but Sam Simmons was such an explosive player that I think he's been primed the entire tour to come off the bench. So I mean, it was a pretty decent game from him. You know, 56 meters gained, 3 defenders beaten, 1 clean break, one try, 2 tackles. So probably give him a 7 for a very good cameo off the bench. He's a nice player, Sam Simmons. I reckon, you know, we'll probably be proving a point and moving after England. Gareth Davies. I haven't really been impressed by Gareth Davies much this tour. It's been, I think he's had quite a frustrating tour where he would have liked to have played a lot more. So, I mean, he made 1 tackle. He was on for 23 minutes. Actually, give him a 6. I don't think he was... maybe a 7 probably would have been fair. I don't know, 6.5, yeah. Chris Harris. Well, it's funny because Chris Harris is dividing a lot of opinion. A lot of people are rating Chris Harris quite highly. Some people are saying he's not great. I think he's very important to defend. I think he's a very clever centre. I don't think he's had the impact he would like to have had. So I mean, it's 23-minute cameo. It doesn't really do much. So I'll give him a 6. And Reece Hammond probably gets a 6, but he'll bump up to a 7 because he scored a try. 6.5. Reece Hammond, I'm gonna go 7. Yeah, he scored a try, so you get a 7. You get a little extra bump up to 1. Good old Reece. 7.3. Yeah, it's fine. That's fine. Jones got smashed. SA Boy's going to target his shoulder by hitting him hard. Look, you know what? If there's one player who can probably take it off that injury, it's probably Allen Jones. I mean, the man's built like a freaking tank. You don't play 150 odd tests if you're not built for this game. So, and I don't think he's also not the type of player that'll shy away from it. I mean, 148 games for Wales, 9 games, 9 tests for the British and Irish Lions, across 4 tours. He's a phenomenal player. Really is a phenomenal player. So I'm very interested to see what they do with him next week, because he's such an important presence with, you know, from a leadership type of view. You know, is he the best? Is he within the best 3 locks? Probably not. Is it worth that gap in quality for the leadership he brings in? Well, that's what Warren Gatland will have to try and sort of figure out over the next couple of days, isn't it? Because he's a very, very important member of the squad. So those are the ratings, which I think, I mean, I've only got to say sorry because I think that they were very strange. I don't quite know what people were on about what exactly was plotting. I think some people were just very far off. Yeah, some very strange ratings there. So, and finally, the last thing we have to sort out is our player of the match. And you voted, and 29 people have decided that Marcus Smith edges Luke Cowan-Dickie in man of the match vote at 58% to 41%. Now, to put these votings and how weird they've been into perspective, there's only maybe a 3 or 4 vote difference there, and we rated Marcus Smith at a 9. We all agreed on a 9, and yet Luke Cowan-Dickie was rated at a 7.3. So I don't quite know why that's 7.3. I don't know how that's 6.8, and I don't. No, Tad Furlong gets a 6.3. I think those are all very, very harsh. Marcus Smith will be perfect for the Stormers at 10. Yeah. Look, I think he'd walk into any of our sides at the moment. And you guys do need a 10. I don't think you can afford him. I think he's probably he's very, very hot property at the moment. But once again, are you sure that that the SA public wouldn't tell him that he's too small and he takes risks. And I mean, let's be honest. Look at our World Cup winning flower halves. Butch. I mean, in the last sort of 12, 13, 14 years, there's been Butch James and Andre Pollard. They're not exactly your Marcus Smiths now, are they? Tim Sewell definitely getting Bok call up. I don't think so. Maybe not now. I think he's playing much better rugby. It's good to see that he's sort of coming right. I also really don't back the Huisson shot. I mean, I think it shows how little people understand or watch or aware of what's been going on. I mean, Johan Huisson, since the season started last year in September, could have played, I think it was 32 matches. There were 32 matches that Montpellier played this season. I don't want to lie to you, so I'm actually going to find out exactly what it is. Because I'm seeing so much about how Johan Huisson needs to be called into the box with immediate effect. He should be on the bench next weekend in flower half. So Montpellier played 32 matches last season, since September up until now. And Johan Huisson played eight of them. He played a sum total of 546 of a possible 2,500 minutes. And of all of those games, those 8 games, he didn't play a single match at flower half. Not a single match at flower half. His positions were 13, 22 off the bench, fullback, wing, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13. He played an outside centre the entire season, except for 2 matches, 1 at 15 and 1 on the wing. So to now say that Johan Huisson needs to be the reserve flower half next weekend for the box, let's not make a mockery of the entire system. You can't have people who are playing week in, week out in that position, performing reasonably well, performing pretty well. I mean, they've been doing it for a while, and now someone's going to sort of skip ahead of the line and go and suddenly play. Looking at the 2019-20 season, the season before, when Huisson was playing, and we'll go to the 2020 season. He played more games. He played 11 or 23 games, so he played almost half the games. And even that season, he played 3 games at flower half, mostly at 13, a lot at fullback as well. So we know he's a very versatile player, but you can't have someone who only played a full season of flower half back in 2018 as your reserve flower half next weekend for the Springboks. It's just, and he hasn't played a lot of minutes. I mean, 18-19 was the last time he played 17 matches in a season. 17-18, he barely played. He was in and around. There was cheaters and all that issues. 17-18, he had a pretty decent season. He actually managed to play a lot of the games at flower half. He's since pretty much made the shift to sort of being an outside centre on the wing at fullback. So to now have to say that he needs to be he should be our, if Pollard can't play, he must be our starting flower half. It's just frustrating because people are just so short. It's just so short term and recent memories and recency bias. I hate recency bias. And recency bias is basically just when you've got a problem ahead of you and all you can do is think back to what's happened. So that's where people are calling for Werner Kok to be in the Springbok squad. Werner Kok was sublime against the British and Irish Lions. He's played 2 matches, I think 3 or 4 matches in total this season at outside centre. People are saying, he'd be really good at outside centre cover. No. Has he played well? Yes. Could he be in the future? Maybe. But you can't just put him a couple of big performances. It's like now. It's like going to Evan Lewis and being like, cool, can you be our starting 8th man next weekend? What is the point of players who have over 5 or 6 years played week in, week out at the top level and put in man of the match performances and make really, really good contributions, and somebody can go on a 3-match run and suddenly be pulled into the green and gold? It doesn't work like that, and it shouldn't work like that. So Jack Balsero says, will you be making a Lions 23 against the Boks? I probably will try to do it. I think that I'm going to get ripped apart. Because I think it's a very hard one to call. But I will do it. I will do a predicted Lions team. I will do a predicted Bok team. And we will be debating the Bok team on Tuesday night. We're going to get a panel together and do that. Grant says 32 matches in one season is brutal. Yeah, it is, and that's, look, the top 14 itself is a lot of matches. They've got 16. I'm trying to look at all the rounds here and stuff like that. I've got top 14, round 21. This is back in this is this season. He played in round 21, so 21 rounds of top 14. You've got then you've got the Challenge Cup or the Champions Cup, depending on it. So it's a lot of games that you have to play. which is why the French squads are so big, because and that's why there's a lot of injuries in them, unfortunately, because you do play a lot of players. Houston fans on drugs? I don't know. Sorry, Johnny Nell says Stormers shouldn't have played it. We all know that was going to happen. SA versus Lions would have been so much better. Well, that was up to Warren Gatland. And I think it was the right call to have it. Actually, I think that it's been the tour is worse off because the Bulls didn't play the Lions, and it would have been worse off if the Stormers hadn't played today. I know that they got thrashings, but it's the whole point of a Lions tour, isn't it? To come here and play different sides. I mean, how shit would it be? They would have played 4 teams. A tour where they played 4 teams. They would have played the Sigma Lions, Sharks twice, SAA twice, Box 3 times. In an 8-match tour across 2 teams. It's not great, is it? It was supposed to be, 8 matches across 5 teams. That would have been so much better. So I'm glad that we saw the Stormers today. I know they got pummeled, but it's just, and it's a nice experience. I mean, somebody like Evan Lewis playing today, in that game. Ernst van Rijn. I mean, somebody like JD Schicklin, that's probably the biggest game he'll ever play in his career. Same as a Tim Sweel. Same as a Cyril Peterson, for example. Will Pollard be match fit? Well, that's the big question. We just don't know. We just don't know what condition these sort of players are in that are isolating. We don't know if they're going to be fit. We don't know if they're going to when they'll be able to start training. And Jacques Nienaber didn't give much away in his press conference now about what's going to happen. So it's all very sketchy in terms of who's going to be available next week. We'll have to sort of wait and see in the next couple of days, and hopefully when the media engagements, when we get that schedule, we'll probably have our first press conference with them on Monday, if I had to imagine a guess. Hopefully then we can get sort of more information. But it is a very touch and go. Frankie Burns says, good to see my captain back. However, I just know that the Box intensity has a big chance of injuring Jones, which should spell havoc for Gats. Well, I think the nice thing is that Adam Beard has really, really stepped up. So I think if Alan Wynne Jones does go down, say he plays the first test and that shoulder pops back out, I think Adam Beard has been playing really, really good rugby. So I think he would slot in with no issue. Grant Swart says recency bias, except when it comes to Stormers versus Lions versus Stormers ratings. 100%. These ratings were the weirdest ratings I've ever done. Stormers only team to not get 50 above points on them. Yeah, but they're also the only team not to score a try. So I would argue, being the Lions fan I am, that technically, if you are looking at the first encounter, so if we have to exclude the Sharks' second encounter because they had another go, the Sigma Lions technically had the best score deficit. Just saying. In fact, I think even with the second game for the Stormers, they almost might have had it. But yes, basically none of the provincial unions really sort of I mean, the Stormers put in a decent effort before Jaden Henderson's red card, but we'll look back at this in a couple of years' time and think that all our unions got absolutely hammered. Jack says it was impressive to see Andre Hugo Fenter come on as such as a young man and front up against the Lions. Hopefully we could see him in the next Lions tour. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of players who I think we could see again. Ivan van Rooyen was saying when his Lions played, he said that his entire loose trio could be playing against the British and Irish Lions once again. Because Vincent Stuka and Franco Horn would both be 34 when they come next time. So I saw Pollard sitting and watching the game between Bulls and Box game. I saw the squad sitting at the top there. I don't remember seeing Pollard, unless I missed it. I'm not going to go watch that entire blooming game just to see if I can see it. I don't remember seeing, as far as I'm concerned, what I heard from Jacques Nienaber is that they're still in Johannesburg. So I don't think he did see Pollard. That's what he said yesterday. So unless he's joined up today, I don't remember seeing him. Jacques has said that they don't know what's going to happen and stuff like that with these two teams and stuff. So it's all a little bit, it's a bit worrying. It's a bit worrying. It's not even just Pollard I'm worried about. It's Bongi and Manambi, because I think he's the only freaking hooker we've got that can throw a ball in straight. I thought Joseph Dweber looked all right in the loose today, but once again struggled with his lineouts. We need Frans Malherbe back because we don't have our props can't scrum at the moment. We need Oxenchair back apparently because the scrums are a disaster. I think Cooney's played himself out of that test side. I would put Walker on the bench next week. If I had to pick right now in my front rows for the two teams, I'm not going to go through the entire Box squad, but my front rows, I would start with Kitsoff, Bongi, and Frans Malherbe, and I'll then be bringing on Vincent Koch, Malcolm Marx, and Walker. maybe Wilco Low even instead of Vincent Koch. But I think Liesel is our second best loose head. It sounds harsh on Ox, but I think Liesel's got a much better all-round game. I think he's a very good scrummager. I think he's very good. There's Thomas Totoy. I would maybe. I think Liesel's better than Thomas Totoy, to be honest. I think Thomas Totoy, because the thing is, Liesel's played loose head in out and for a lot longer. I think the form that Liesel was in that Rainbow Cup when he was coming off the bench with Trevor, he was looking brilliant. Thomas Toy was all right. So I mean, I wouldn't mind Thomas Toy. I just personally think that I think Liesel can offer us something quite a lot. I think that when he's on form, he's a very, very good prop. Bokker didn't do well in Bull Scrum, lost them the game. Well, I think it was a little bit more than just him when they lost the game. The biggest problem with Liesel is he just hasn't had enough game time. So it would be a very, very big call for him to suddenly play against the Lions next weekend, which is probably why they wouldn't do it. I think ideally they'd have Ox coming off the bench for Steven Kitsoff, and they'll have probably Vincent Koch coming off for Francois Herbel, maybe Trevor, maybe if they're still going to back Trevor. Koch's probably a safe option, because Trevor, we just don't know which pop's going to rock up, don't we? You know, on his day, Trevor can be fantastic, but we just don't know when his day is going to be. But I still like the idea of Malcolm Marks coming off the bench. I think he's better than Bongi, slightly. I think it's 6 for one, half a dozen for the other. But I think he just works as an impact player down. To be able to bring somebody like that, he brings in the physicality. I mean, Bongi Madami's a bully, so he'll tackle hard. He'll get in people's faces. He'll really front up and like smash a few people. But then you've got Malcolm Marks. You can come on and win you turnovers right at the end. He'll make vital tackles. He's very good with ball in hand. He's such a nice impact player to bring on. Quite says, I don't think Liesel was ready to play against the Lions. Yeah, I can go with that. And Jack saying, what do you think is the problem with the Springbok scrum? I just don't know. I don't know if it's a case of, because, look, a scrum is a unit, I suppose, and we are chopping and changing a lot. I'd also wonder how much scrum practice we've actually managed to have, because we don't have our usual front row. So how many times because we saw in Chasing the Sun, it was full-blooded scrums going at each other. So I don't know how much, they've actually really managed to scrum properly against each other. So I don't know if it's a case of, not enough time together to be able to coordinate the hit and to be able to make sure they've got the power in behind with the locks and stuff like that. I don't know. It's very uncharacteristic because these are all players who've usually been pretty good scrummagers. I think Kuniose has never been the best scrummager. But, Trevor is not a bad scrummager at all. Much better than what we saw on Wednesday. And, it's just been frustrating to see how our props just look second rate at the moment. And yet, we were saying probably a couple of weeks ago about the fact that we've got so much depth at prop. The fact that, Wilco Low wasn't even in the squad. That Walker wasn't even in the squad. So that's frustrating. So it's such a horrible situation next week, because what we're seeing today, we saw the result of a team that hadn't played together. I think that what Jacques Nienaber was saying is that they'd only actually had one captain's practice, because Thursday, I don't know if they had a practice or they had a session or what the story was, but it doesn't sound like they had a full-on session on Thursday. A lot of players doing recovery and stuff like that. So they basically had a captain's run on Friday, and then they went and played Bulls on Saturday. And they were also saying that they didn't actually prepare for the Bulls. They just kind of prepared because they weren't sure who they were going to play. Apparently, from the sounds of it, with the fact that all those players pulled out from the Stormers due to COVID protocols, and that was a late change. That was literally from yesterday. It was on Thursday. I think it was on Thursday. When did they announce the team? Was it yesterday? Yeah, I think it was yesterday that the Stormers announced their team. So from the sounds of it, it was a possibility that we almost did see the SAA versus the British Irish Lions today. This is why we probably didn't. So I think that was, so there were quite a few contributing factors why I think that we didn't manage to sort of shape up and put in our best foot forward. But it's that worry which makes me worried about the players in isolation, because yes, we know that Sia Khaleesi, Francois Herbert, Bongi Madambi, Andre Pollard, they don't need time. They don't need a lot of time to sort of gel. They've been playing together for months, but they still do need a couple of sessions. You can't bring over Johnny Sexton. You can't bring over Johnny Sexton on Monday give him two, 3 training sessions and have him start on Saturday. He's a former World Player of the Year nominee, I think. And Mapimpi's another one, who's all isolating. So I mean, Mapimpi hasn't played a game for the Boks this season. At least Bongi didn't play. Did Bongi play? Who played in the first test? Is it Bongi? Am I being stupid? Who was it? Bongi in the first test? That I don't think he was. I'm just trying to remember that test against Georgia. I'll check here because yeah, I did. I thought so. So Bongi started that test against Georgia. So Bongi's played for the Springboks this year. Andre Pollard played a full 80. Sears played, but Mapimpi has literally not pulled on the green and gold since he scored a try in the World Cup final. So that is a worry. That is a big worry. And is a couple of days enough for him? And he's also not somebody who's been playing in a long time. He came back and played I think like 2 Rainbow Cup games. So he's been playing in Japan. He comes here, plays 2 Rainbow Cup games, and now he's going to potentially play in the Bok team next week. So it's a big call. I probably wouldn't make it. I think our back's been Corsi. How long do you need to be isolated and all these players should be ready? So, I mean, Jacques Nienaber was saying it's a 17-day process. So, and we were working out yesterday that today would have been day 10 from when they all went to isolation. Today would have been day 10. So 17 days puts them out of contention for next week. So that's why it literally sounds like these players might not be available. I mean, I don't know. It's weird because Stuart Hogg went into isolation after that Sigma Lions game, and that was on the 3rd of July. So was it? Yeah, it was Wednesday the 7th that they were. I don't know. I don't know if it's different rules or I don't know if they're different contacts, but I mean, Hogg has been on the sidelines and only came back on Wednesday, basically. Thursday we saw him in the press conference. It wasn't available for Wednesday. Same thing, and so I don't exactly. I mean, look, Jacques Nienaber is saying it's a 17-day process, basically. 16, 17-day process from when you go into isolation to sort of return to play, because there were a whole bunch of different factors apparently and stuff like that. I don't know. That's just what he said. So we cannot confirm nor deny whether these players will be around next week, whether they'll be available, what their story will be. I suppose time will tell. Do you think that those players in isolation should start as though they're match fit with them being out for 2 weeks? Can they front up the Venus test possibly in their lives? I mean, also, I don't know what their isolation is like. Is it a case of they're all in their rooms and they're having to do, I don't know, push-ups, sit-ups, burpees, or can they go to the gym, for example? Are they allowed out and they could? Can they go out and run around on a field by themselves, for example? Is Pollard doing sprints down the passage of the hotel, or is he going out? Can he? I mean, Stuart Hogg was saying that he was allowed to go to the gym. Apparently, they were doing a lot of, like, he would go in by himself, and they would, sanitize everything, and he'd gym, and then, they'd clear and stuff like that. So it's very weird. Look, I mean, the usual thing if you're not playing sport is it's supposed to be 10 days of isolation. If you have COVID and stuff like that, I think that's what like the schools and stuff are all working on. So Johnny said that's way too long. How could they think that would ever work? 70 days, not the 14 days. Yeah, you know what it is? I think it's I just wish they'd actually explain the damn. I'm so bored of it's the protocols. These return to play protocols. Don't tell us that. Don't give us half the information. Tell us what the protocol is. Then we can actually freaking report the damn thing. So why can't you not release a statement saying, here is the case. If you test positive for COVID, you go into isolation for 10 days, 14 days, whatever. After that, you then get tested. If you return a negative test, you can do this. If you don't, you do this. If you're a close contact, this is the return to play. But instead, we're hearing that, it's this 17-day process. And, I want to try and find out exactly what he said. Sorry, we're back. I apologize. I mean, this bloody internet. It's South Africa for you, hey? We are back, I think. Sorry about that. Yeah, you see, they don't want me to find out. They don't want me to find out what's going on. I just want to find you the official Jacques Nienaber quote, what he actually said. Okay, so this was from Ashrik Mohammed. This is based on... Yeah, you see, here we go. So this is what Nienaber said. He says, when a player tests positive, you go into isolation for 10 days. And then there is a return to play protocol that they have to follow before they can get selection. Basically, it will take him 16 or 17 days to get back into the mix, as there's a protocol. Sorry, this is just going. I won't stay on for much longer because I think we're gonna have too many technical issues. I just want to tell you exactly what's been the story. Yeah, it's this. Okay, well, literally, I'm just waiting for it to commence long enough to say that I'm going to log off because this is just going. This is going terribly. I'll release a video. I mean, I think it's going to disconnect again. I don't know what's going on with my internet. It's all not happening very well. But I'm gonna chuck it